Hey ladies! So I know this background is a little different, but when I first started my YouTube channel, I went to other people's YouTubes and I saw how nice the backgrounds were. I saw how like the visual it was, and I was like, okay, I have to do that. But with the way my life was going, it was so hard to just sit and be in that setup all the time. And I was like, a lot of my thoughts and things come at the end of my day. And I was like, why don't we just have Benika's bedtime chat? We can sit here, have a good girl time chat, and just talk about the things that come up. And I want this to be about perfection. So many times we sit and we struggle because we feel that everything has to be perfect before we can move forward. And what ends up happening is we don't do anything and we end up missing out on the best things in life. Like this, like there's so many topics, so many things that I want to talk to you ladies about, so many things that just kept coming up. But I was like, but I'm not ready. Like I have to do something to my face. I have to like put the kids down. I have to get in front of my backdrop. Like there was so many things where I was like, maybe I just didn't have time, or maybe that topic just wasn't enough. And we end up like not getting anything accomplished, and so many great ideas, so many amazing things leave us. Like some of those topics I couldn't even tell you what it was about. I wanted to chat with you then. It's like out of my head. So I figured, you know what? Let's just have Benika's bedtime chat, right? So let me back up. I'm Benika and I am a self-love coach. My job is to help women find the love within themselves so they can love themselves even more. So I started this channel so I can give those talks and have those tips and say those things that most people are afraid to talk about, or topics that seem to be taboo because there's fear behind it. So on top of perfection, today I wanted so this is like a 2-in-1. So it's about perfection and it's about labels. When we go into perfection mode, a lot of times that is attached to a label. Like, I know that if somebody wants to be a mom, there's like this whole definition of what a mom's supposed to be, other than the fact that a mom is a nurturer. Because anybody who nurtures another person is a mom. You don't have to physically have the child come out your cooter. The fact that you love someone, you nurture someone, that makes you a mom. I know, like, sometimes I hear like women talking about like, I'm more of a mom than you because I pushed the baby out and you had a C-section, or when I had my baby I didn't have an epidural. Listen, the only reason I didn't have an epidural was, one, I had a baby at 16 and my mom wouldn't sign off on it, and two, at 300 plus pounds, I was afraid that I wouldn't be. First of all, I like to breathe, right? Like when you're fat, like just to be honest, when you're fat, anytime you're hunched over like this, breathing is hard as shit. So I was like, I know I wouldn't be able to sit still long enough to get a needle in my back. What if I sneezed? What if something happened? So fear said, you know what? You're not going to get an epidural. You're just going to take this pain like a big girl. That is the only reason I didn't have an epidural. It doesn't make me a better mom. Doesn't even make me smarter. Because, sometimes I think that if I wasn't in some of that pain, I might have enjoyed the birth just a little bit more. But sometimes those labels creates this type of competition that just doesn't exist, and we don't need it. It's like, even with me being a self-love coach, when I first started, a lot of people were like, you could be a plus size motivator. As great as that sound, that also like limited me. Like that means that, does that mean I can only help plus size women? Or does that mean I always have to be plus size in order to be that coach? Like that doesn't allow room for growth, or it doesn't allow women to feel that I am there for everyone that fits me. right? Because that means that you had to be plus size at one point in time of your life, or plus size at that time. So that's a label that I didn't want attached to myself. Like, am I plus size now? Yes. But am I always going to be plus size? No. Even though I've been plus size most of my life, it doesn't mean that that's what I'm going to be my entire life. Does that mean plus size is a bad thing? No, that's just, but for me, that's telling me that I get to just be a healthy size, a fit size. And fit has no size, it has no whatever. That's what I relate more to, is fit, not plus. You know what I mean? So, self-love was a label I could attach myself to, because everybody needs to love themselves more. Like, we can't love ourselves. We can't love other people if we don't love ourselves, because we wouldn't know how to. Or when, like, we see other people being excited, or we are just doing better, we will tend to bring that person down because we don't love ourselves. So that's why self-love is so important. There are other labels, like, my children, they have special things about them, and I just call them my special babies. But they have ADHD. There's a whole list of stuff, right? And my thing is, my children are not ADHD kids. They're amazing kids, and ADHD just happens to be part of their story. There's no reason for me to make them be attached to a label, because that if there's a stigma to that particular label, it means that maybe they feel that they won't be able to be more in life. Like, I tell people I have squirrel brain, but that just means that I have amazing thoughts that are always going and are always just coming along. And as you can tell by this video, I jump topics, but I look at that as a positive thing. Instead of saying, hello, I realize that my children got their ADHD from their mama. So it's a label that I'm not willing to accept for myself. I am a squirrel brain, and I love it. So I just had to see. That's just a thought. But anyway, so if you're someone right now and you have a label in your life, and that label is not serving you in a positive way, like if that label is bringing you down, it's time to let go of that label. You are not that label. You are an amazing person who happens to have that in your life. It's just a chapter in your book. It's not your entire book. And it's not something you have to sit and dwell on for long periods of time. It doesn't mean that is who you are. You are not your label. You are just an amazing masterpiece in the making. And every day you get to wake up and make a new mural of yourself every time that, you show up for yourself. Like, you get to make that mural. And I think that that's why I'm going to enjoy these nighttime talks with you, because I talk to so many women throughout the day. I see so many things all the time, and I want to bring awareness to these things, to let women know that we are no longer that. Like, remember, like, back in the day, a wife meant somebody who stayed at home. They cooked, they cleaned, they took care of the children, but they really didn't matter in the jointness of it, But that's not what a wife is today. See how that label, the definition has changed. And that's why it's not meant for us to hold on to labels, because we are so much more. It took me, I'm 38 now, and I want to say it took me 38 years to know who Benika is. That is the only label that I'm going to give myself, is my name. This is the name that my mom gave me. I love my name. It's me. It's Benika. And it means all different sort of things. Now, I'm also a unicorn princess with a little bit of mermaid. And that definition is whatever I decide to make it. So I hope that you guys come back more for our night chats. Give me a topic or something that we can throw out and talk about. And as I find another topic or something, I'll put it out there. We'll chat. But I think and I'm going to try to do this more and more and just have these late night chats with you so that, we can get to know each other. Maybe I can help you with something that you're going through, something that maybe ailing you that maybe people don't talk about. So you guys have an amazing day, and I will talk to you later.